Hi, my name is Zach.
And I'm Lexi.
We'd like to welcome you to Republic Shooting Range and thank you for coming out.
We look forward to providing you with a safe and enjoyable range experience.
This is a member and community supported shooting range. Keep in mind that this is your range too.
Ensure that no one in your group is under the influence of drugs or alcohol.
Ensure that everyone in your group has filled out the correct paperwork and provided proof of ID.
Make sure that your group has designated a range safety officer that will maintain a safe shooting experience.
If no one in your group feels comfortable assuming this role, our staff will provide you with a range safety officer.
Ensure that everyone in your group is accounted for at all times while on the property.
Ensure that no one is climbing on berms, unhooking any fencing, or being in any area that is not designated for customer use.
Be aware that staff range safety officers who will be wearing this vest will be roving the property and checking in with you periodically.
If you have any questions about anything, please don't hesitate to ask staff. I would like to briefly discuss the basic rules of firearm safety. Firearms are a tool, but they are one of the only tools that can seriously injure or kill someone with the simple movement of a finger. Firearms are to be treated with respect at all times, and remember that a safe shooter is a thinking shooter and therefore a better shooter. Treat every firearm as if it is loaded. Never assume that a firearm is clear and safe. Every time that I handle a firearm, it is my assumption that it is loaded and ready to fire until I visibly and physically make sure that it is, in fact, clear and safe. Now these are some of the examples of a clear and safe firearm. Bolt to the rear and no round in the firearm. Bolt locked to the rear, magazine out, and no round in the firearm. On this pistol, slide is locked to the rear, magazine is out, and no round in the firearm. On this revolver, the cylinder is open and no rounds in the firearm. On this shotgun, action to the rear and no shells anywhere in the firearm. And on this shotgun, action broke open and no shells in the firearm. Never put your finger on the trigger or inside of the trigger guard until ready to fire. Every time that I'm handling a firearm or picking it up for the first time, I keep my trigger finger straight and outside of the trigger guard. The only time that my finger will go inside of the trigger guard and then onto the trigger itself is when my sights are lined up and the barrel of the firearm is pointed at the target that I intend to shoot. Never point your barrel or muzzle at anything that you do not plan to destroy. Do not swing the firearm around carelessly. Always make sure that this muzzle is pointed in a safe direction. And never walk in front of someone else's muzzle at any time. Always know your target, what is beyond and in front of your target. Think about if you miss your target, where is that bullet going to impact? Also, be aware of where that bullet might impact if you shoot low and skip the bullet, causing a ricochet off the ground, or if you overshoot your target. If you follow these 4 rules of firearm safety, you will be a better shooter and a safe shooter.
We have 6 25-yard ranges facing to the south,
We have 3 50-yard ranges facing to the east. We have 2 100-yard ranges facing to the east and 1 200-yard range facing to the east. We also have a tactical facade wall and pistol steel range facing to the east. We do not allow tannerite, automatic fire, bump or slide stocks, or binary triggers on our range. Eye protection and ear protection is required by all shooters and participants, even non-shooters, on all of our ranges at all times. It's for your benefit. And we sell both if you forgot them in the building. Thank you. We are now on one of our 25-yard ranges. The target line on all of our ranges remains the same, and it is at the back of the range. We have adjustable firing lines on all of our ranges, meaning that we can go from 1 yard, 2 yards, back to the benches and or structures of the length of the range. In this case, it's a 25-yard range, so our max firing line is going to be at 25 yards from the targets. What is meant by the term firing line is the point where we are shooting from, and everyone on the range must always know where that designated firing line is at all times. Never have a firing line behind the benches and or the structures. Make sure that all firearms are clear and safe when behind the firing line, and also make sure that no one is handling any firearms behind the firing line until everyone is back and on the same line. Make sure that all muzzles are pointed in a safe direction when they are behind the firing line. You can achieve this by canting the firearms off to the side slightly, still keeping them within the berms of the range, but not pointing at anyone that is downrange or on the firing line in front. All of our target lines are at the back of the range and are between our lateral limits, which are a red and white post for the right and a white post for the left. There are railroad ties behind berms at the back of the range with brackets on the back side, which our target stands slide right into. When finished with our target stands, please bring them back up to the building. The only targets that are allowed to be shot on our pistol rifle ranges are paper targets and or our approved steel targets. No targets are to be placed on any side berms. The only berms that targets are allowed to be placed on are our designated target lines, which are against the back berm. At no point are you to shoot any ground targets, rocks, trash, or any unapproved target. Shooting ground targets, if you miss or even hit them, can skip, cause ricochets, and send bullets over the berm. Please pick up after yourself on our ranges. Put brass casings only into the designated brass buckets. Put any shotgun shells, aluminum case or steel case rounds, along with any other trash that you have, into the designated trash buckets that are at each range. Thank you for watching this video, and if you have any questions at all, please be sure to ask a range staff member.